Today, in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Karu News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, and Organ Donation India Foundation. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today's topic is not only current, but it is very, very relevant, very sensitive. And the topic is that it's like that in every household, this topic is there. So it's meaningful for every household. Although nobody wants to talk about this, but still we have taken this topic. So, but before I will go on this main topic, I would like to inform you that today world is observing World Day for International Justice. World Day for International Justice, also referred to as Day of International Criminal Justice or International Justice Day, is an international day celebrated throughout the world on July 17th as part of an effort to recognize the emerging system of international criminal justice. July 17th is the day of the adoption of the treaty that created the International Criminal Court. On 1st June 2010, at the review conference at the Rome Statue held in Kampala, Uganda, the Assembly of State Parties decided to celebrate 17th July as the Day of International Criminal Justice. Each year, people around the world use this day to host events to promote international criminal justice, especially support for the International Criminal Code. Media conference with Lal Goyal hopes that by observing this day, we will create more awareness for international justice. Now, coming to our main topic, that is life after marriage. Marriage brings about the biggest transition in a person's life, and no matter how prepared he or she might be, it will always take by surprise. When you start living with your spouse, changes are inevitable. Some will bring you joy, while others might challenge your patience and sanity. How you adapt to the challenges marriage throws at you and adjust to the changes will dictate the course of this lifelong relationship. When you start your conjugal life with a spouse, he or she would gradually discover your strengths as well as weakness. You will share your deepest secrets and tell things which you might not have told anyone before. But when we share such intimate details with a person, we are bound to feel vulnerable. There will be moments when you would wonder if you did the right thing by bearing it all. But that is what marriage is. Everyone and every situation will demand that you trust your spouse with your heart and soul. It will not be easy initially, but things will fall into place with time. Companionship is a great thing. After marriage, the initial days will be nothing but filled with sheer joy. You would discover new things that might have remained unobserved till now. You would be spending a lot of time together, be it visiting friends and families after the wedding or shopping for household items. The world you kept to yourself, your bed, your room, everything will now have two people in it. And there will come a time when you would wish that you could spend some time alone, just like the way you did before you were married. And such thoughts would be immediately followed by a feeling of guilt. Trust us, this is not easy. Under normal circumstances, responsibilities, when shared between two people, would decrease, but not in marriage. With every passing year, you will end up with more responsibilities. And by responsibilities, we do not merely mean materialistic goals. When you are married to a person, you also have to take the responsibility of looking after his or her well-being. And your spouse will also have to do the same. The weight of responsibility can sometimes be overwhelming, but when you do a good job, the rewards would also be manifold. It is easy to say that love is all you need to keep you happy. But love alone cannot provide the food on your plate or the roof over your head. Only money can. You will need to take a bigger house, perhaps buy a car or another car or another big car. And when you have a family, you will need money to pay for your children's school fees. Marriage can teach even the most carefree person about the importance of money in his or her life. While marriage brings with its own set of responsibilities for both partners, it is often the woman who is left to multitasking as she manages domestic responsibilities, the child, and the rest of the family, along with her career. And to discuss this very, very important, sensitive, although it is not been giving that importance. Rather, people always ask when I send the flyers, they ask me why you have kept this topic. What is the new thing in this? I'm sure today's program will be enlightening all our viewers, because we have selected those who are in their marriage life, and they can explain better what changes have come after the marriage, the life after the marriage. And I would like to invite my first panelist guest, and she is Miss Joycey Rigo. Miss Joycey Rigo is Mrs. India Dubai 2017. She is Managing Director of Mustard Collection UAE. She is the Managing Director of Rigo Events Private Limited. She is Managing Trustee, Rejoice Mustard Garden Trust. Welcome, Ms. Joycey Rigo, on our show. Ms. Joycey Rigo, the topic, as everybody knows, is something which is in every household. Wherever a marriage is taking place, the woman has gone to the husband's house, or husband has gone to the women's house, like in some places in Kerala and some parts of Karnataka. And the life changes. I have done a program last Sunday also, where the thing is that the father or the family, the family of a girl child always treat the girl as princess. But after the marriage, some says that they treat her as a queen, or some says that it's not queen, the more and more responsibility. But if we will see in a broader terms, this is a very important thing, how to manage. It's not only the changes after the marriage, but with your own experience. After all, you are conducting so many beauty pageants yourself with a motto for a charity, and you are dealing with the married women. You know very well their challenges, how much sometimes very big challenge, how their family, other side family is also treating them. Sometimes they are very happy. But we would like to know your views on life after marriage. Miss Joycey Rigo, please.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. And thank you for giving me this opportunity, sir. And a very challenging topic as well. And life after marriage, as when you start, you must also understand my life before marriage. So I just want to say 3 points, which are more important, I think, for all the girls and all the ladies. So the first point is freedom of speech. What we always have before marriage, like we sit at our home at our convenience, we can talk whatever we want. We discuss many things to our like parents or siblings. We discuss so many things. Freedom of choice. We get to wear whatever we want. We get to go where we want, and we get to eat what we want. So there's not much of restrictions to us. Third thing is the appreciation. Like when we are small, when we are girls, or when we are before marriage at home, whatever things we do, we get appreciated. Always we get to say, oh, wow, Joyce, you did this, very nice. And this looks very good. And now it's become like, I'll explain that a bit later. So these 3 things are the most important thing. What I feel is somewhere lacking behind. Freedom of speech has become a more of like a debate. So if you want your speech to come out, it's really a bit difficult. So life after marriage. So I was a bit lucky enough that I got into a family where I was embraced with my culture. Now I'm married to a Tamilian, and that's again a combination of a Keralite and a Tamilian. So you will understand how reserved the family will be. So when I went, it was more like, okay, the ladies don't sit directly at the dining table for eating food. Because for me, if I'm hungry, I go and sit at the dining table and serve my plate because I'm a daughter, right? So it didn't seem the same way. I like, all the ladies are standing. Why do they stand? And they were like, They were like, Joyce, get up. You need to stand. Let the men sit first. They have to eat their food. And then it's your turn to eat. I'm like, really? But I'm hungry. And then I realized that the elder person in the family, he just came near to me. He just pulled the chair. He said, okay, fine, you sit here. Sit with us and eat. And that is the time I understood that even when you go to a new family, it is how they embrace you and your culture. So I was a bit of a, the smallest in the family who came new. And I saw the other ladies who were already elder to me. They are like well groomed with that elderly, the sari, and they're more of the traditional type. And I was the only one who was like, and I felt, okay, fine. Just now she has come because a combination of Goa, Mumbai, and Mangalore, it's completely different when she will enter into something like Tamil Nadu or Kerala. But no, they embrace me the way I am. So I'm very happy with it. I was not given a chance even to change anything. There were also a situation where people came and said that you're not supposed to call your husband by name, but I was with him for 3 years before marriage. So it's, of course, I will have the same name, you take the name, and they call something else with respect. But then the family came to me and said, you don't need to do that because for you, it won't look good also. So, don't do that. Just be what you are. So the best part was I got support to say that live your life, the way you want it, because maybe they understood that I came from totally different background, and even my way of talking, the way there, the ladies were more of silent, and here I was a more of a talkative type. So they were like, okay, fine, we will adjust with you. So after marriage for 8 years, I did nothing because most of the time I saw females more reserved, more of someone who will be quiet, listening to their in-laws or the husband, or more of someone who just goes for work, comes back home, cooking, cleaning, chores, be with the kids and finished. So marriage after, my life after marriage was actually more of confidence. And I got a husband who kept telling me like, why are you like this? You are not supposed to be, someone who is of a kitchen female. I didn't marry. If I have to marry someone like this, who will be sitting whole day in the kitchen or behind the kids, then I would have gone and married someone from my place. You are bold. Come on, come up, do something for yourself. So that do something for yourself in 2016, a gap of 8 years when I did nothing, came up with the confidence that I want to do something for myself. So my childhood was really bad. I mean, we didn't have much money, no financial support. My father had a business loss. So it was my two brothers who had to leave their education, go for work. So when they earned and brought money home, that is the time we ate our food. So always it was in my mind that I need to do something as an NGO. So 2018, that was a step. In 2017, I wanted a platform where I went to Mrs. India. I got the platform, and there I met so many Mrs. category who were well established within themselves. I mean, the confidence what they had, I could never even think that a married lady could have that kind of confidence. And then I thought that when they can do it, why can't I? I mean, I have a husband who's supportive. I have even my 2 children who can manage themselves. I mean, they just tell me that, Mama, you do what you want, and we are there for you. So in this situation, if I have everything what I need, then I shouldn't be someone who is at home. And that's how started the NGO Mustard Garden. And when I did the Mustard Garden, I came to know that the NGO cannot do charity events or the beauty pageants. So at that time, again, I moved to the Rego event. So one by one, things started coming in my plate. I mean, I didn't ask for it. So I had the confidence that I can take it and I can do it. And I had my husband who was like, I will not be behind you. It's your thing. You want to do something. So you will write your own plan. You will do your own thing. So do something what you can do on your own, and do only those things what you can do. Don't do something what is not in your plate. Why? Because you cannot go asking people for help, because not everyone is there for you. You are, after all, alone, and you should know that there is someone who is with you and you can do your stuffs. So more of confidence. Now it's been 14 years of marriage. I'm really happy. Life is really growing. And moreover, my in-laws are not with me right now. They were with me before. So at that time, yes, it was more of, I had to think what they will be thinking if I speak more, because like daughter and daughter-in-law is 2 different topics. Sometimes it happens that when I moved to my husband's home, my mother-in-law was the only girl and the second girl was me. So it happens, that when you go new, and she might think that, okay, fine, someone has come and who is, trying to control the home or trying to control the atmosphere. So it happens that a lot of times there will be talks back and forth. So these particular things also can be adjusted in friendship. So I had even her for a very little time with me. Then she moved back to India. So things are fine. And now everything is, wherever I use the word freedom before, everything is like chopped off now. There is nothing called freedom because everything we need to think. Freedom of speech is gone. Like I need to think and speak what I'm going to speak. Why? Because the kids, they look at me. So the husband feels sometimes, oh no, you shouldn't have spoken this. Why did you say like this? And even when you find people outside, the relatives coming in, even they start poking or pointing, saying that, why did she say this? You shouldn't have said like this. So that freedom of what you have to say is actually controlled. Choice also, again, I can't wear things what I want. I have to go as per the family requirements. Sometimes you go on theme parties. So even if I like blue or red, if the other person comes up with, no, we are going to wear black today, okay, fine, forget about me, what I want, let's go with the theme. So this is how we actually manage after marriage. And appreciation is something what you should not sit and wait for, because if you ask for it, it will be like, okay, it's nice. So it will not come directly from their side. So this is also one thing what we girls are, I think, after marriage used to it. And we are also happy about it. So we appreciate ourselves because we ladies are like self-motivated. So it's fine. And everything is going good, sir. 14 years over and 17 years we know each other. So that's how my life is after marriage. Good going. It's only growing. I'm growing in confidence, more matured. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rigo. And we wish that it will continue not only for so many years, it should be for the lifelong. And but what Ms. Rigo has mentioned, although she wanted to be a bit diplomatic, one has to be diplomatic, but she has given a very clear message that the freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom of appreciation, everything, yes, what she was enjoying before marriage. And yes, there are definitely difference, but life is a dynamic thing. You have to change, you have to mold, and not only you have to mold your spouse also accordingly. And then only the life is better. But what Ms. Rigo has mentioned is that the culture, when there is a different culture, when you are coming from one culture to another culture, it's a very challenging thing, but sometimes very exciting and a very happy thing also. So which she is enjoying, and she is quite happy with her marriage. But only one more point which she has mentioned is that the way her husband encouraged her to come out with to do something with confidence, she has done. She has become so successful now, not only organizing the events, but now she is also doing the marketing for the Indian artisans, their products, which is a very much required today. So such type of activities is only possible when your spouse is giving you full support, your family is supporting. So I am sure that Ms. Rigo is not regretting her marriage, but rather she is quite happy, and she should be happy. And I am sure that today your program, which is going to be watched, or they might be watching your husband, your children, they will be very happy that you have given so much importance to them also. Thank you very much, Ms. Rigo. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Ms. Brinda Shine. Ms. Brinda Shine is the director of SNAP's Consolidated Column. She is PhD research scholar. She is URF Asian record holder. She is an educationist. She was awarded GMRAF Women Educationist Award, Teacher Excellence Award, ESN Best Teacher Guide Award, etc. She presented papers on mind mapping, infinite possibility, ability learning versus artificial learning, man and machines, technical skills, computers, web designing and programming, graphic designing, SOS, science of saving, rivalry against chivalry, comparative study on tuition centers, give women the hammer to break the glass ceiling, unfocused to improve focus, farming, the first appointed job of mankind, you are worth more than your waistline, etc. She holds certifications in ITA member foundation level, Cambridge University, INET Plus certified from Competia, Microsoft certified professional. She is member of International Association of Educators and Corporate Trainers. She has vast work experience in India, UAE, and China. Also managing Chef's Stop Group of hotels and resorts. Welcome, Ms. Brinda Shine, on our show. Ms. Brinda Shine, you have heard what Ms. Joyce Rego has mentioned. And I remember you were there in the last Sunday also when the topic was parents versus in-laws. And you have given your views in that also. But Miss Brinda Shine, you and if I am not mistaken, you are a Tamilian and married in Kerala, correct?
Yes.
So it's a vice versa what Miss Rigo. So my memory is still working. Last time you have mentioned. So a Tamilian coming to Keralite family, although Miss Rigo from Kerala to Tamilian family, definitely a very deadly combination, both the sides. We would like to know your views on life after marriage. Miss Binda Shine, please.
Happy morning, everyone. So it's a wonderful topic. There is lots to talk on it, and if it like I'm married for 20 years now. So if I had to speak on this topic 5 years ago, my perception would have been very different. But then, like as years go, it's like I say marriage is like a wine. The older it gets, the tastier it is. So initially, it is very sour. And like 20 years has made my marriage to see in a different perspective. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So we say that marriages are made in heaven, and so is thunder and lightning. So marriage is like that. It is light, it is sound, it is a combination of everything. Basically, it's nothing but taking up, the society has built it such a way that marriage means responsibility. It's like you're forming a new family, as in you have your own upbringing, you have your own responsibilities, which is very different, which is always focused on you. It is me. And then you start to make a family, which is a big decision that we take. So over the years, the transformation of marriage, like we know how the marriage system came into existence. It was like a barter system. The property they did not want others to take over, so that's how it came. So that's the history of marriage. But then it has evolved over the years. Now lots of the marriage, what people had perceptions before, has completely changed over the years. And now even like the parents are also very broad, that we come up with cross cultures and love marriages, and where people generally you would have seen a cartoon where they say arranged marriage is someone the family they'll push you into the well, and love marriages you jump on your own. So that's how it has been seen, where men and women are with a perception when they get married. Like men thinks when they marry that the women will remain the same, she will not change, whereas women marries a man thinking that she can change him. So this is the first thought process that is inside a man and a woman. He will be what they see before wedding is different, because we tend to meet very less time, and they'll think, okay, she's very soft spoken and she nods her head for everything, and she's going to be the same. Whereas women will have in her mind that, okay, he has all these habits, we know what are his weak points, and we'll be ready with it, and we'll think that we'll change after the wedding. That's where the problem starts. So there's a very famous book, I don't know if you all have read, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. We are very different people. The thought process, the likings, everything is very different for a man versus women. Even the so-called adored Shakespeare, there is a debate on like a famous debate that was on like asking if Shakespeare loved his wife, where Shakespeare traveled to London. He was not, his wife was at Stratford, but Shakespeare was at London while he wrote all the poetries, the poems. So even there is a debate on the so-called, we think that he's very romantic. The poems that he wrote was very romantic, but Shakespeare also had to go, because for men, once they get married, what they think is the responsibility. Like with great power comes great responsibility, so is with marriage comes great responsibility. For them, what we see before that, they do not have to. For them, they have a value in the society, so they want to. For them, the first priority after the wedding, what comes is to earn for the family. That is the way they show love to their wife. They want their wife to keep their family comfortable, and for that they start spending more time. Like not everyone though, most of them. So there are exceptions always. So that's why they take over the rest. But for a woman, all what she needs is a complete attention. And that attention is never the same. Men are different, as we say. when we have a problem, we want someone to listen to us. We share it with our husbands and we say that we have a problem, and they will come up with a solution, which we definitely don't want actually. We want a ear to listen. Whereas men, they are problem solvers. For them, everything they want to solve, finish it, they don't talk over it. But we talk about it 100 times. So this difference, it is always there. Even if you see from the society's perspective, women, once she get married, the family and the society thinks that her husband should be her first priority. Whereas for a man, it should not be his wife. If the wife becomes the first priority, they will say he's an infect husband. You know, in Malayalam, when I got married, as I said, it's a cross culture, and I was the first daughter-in-law in the whole family. So my husband was, you know, he was feeling shy. He was feeling, because it's a big family, they were all together, and we came, like we were abroad, we came for vacation. The wedding got like when we came to India. So it was just 20 days, and I saw a different person before I got married. And after marriage, I see that he is with his, family most of the time. And even at night, 2 o'clock, he'll be scared to get into the room. And immediately his family will say, my brother has BP. BP means in Malayalam, Bharya Pedi, means he's scared of his wife. So he is scared of that word BP, that, you know, there is so much, he will not even have an eye contact with me, you know, he was scared. But then what he had in his mind was, it's just 20 days, I'm going to take her to abroad, like go together, and we are going to live together where I'll spend time. For me, it's like completely new. The language is new, people are new, house is new, everything is new. And I know only one person in the whole family, and that person is not with me. So the starting itself was not good. We had like roller coaster of emotions, fights, you name it, we did it. We went through every process of marriage, you know, like it was never easy. I will not give space for him. I'm someone, you know, we all have, we say the 5 rings of relationship: the outsiders, the friends, the close relatives, like that. And inner space is something which only you are there, and you let someone in. So for you to let someone, even the space, you know, we all have this at least 5 centimeters. We don't like anyone coming too close to us. That space we give to someone, because that much trust, that much love we have for that person. And if that person does not understand us, it's like completely, you know, the complete tower, it breaks down. So that's the emotion that I went through. We had fights, we had everything, you know. I'm just open to say that we even went to a point that we had filed a divorce. We had gone to that extent because we thought that this is not going to work. And there came a point where, you know, we took a decision. Maybe it's my son. It was like completely a drama, I should say, because we both had decided. We thought, okay, and we went mutually. And the next day we were supposed to get the divorce. It's all done. The very next day, it was on October 24, 2017. We were supposed to get our divorce. October 23rd, we took a decision. We are not going to get divorced because we love each other. The love was always there. Maybe it was more. The expectation was more. So we all see marriage as a noun, but it is a verb. You know, we see that what we get out of it. It is not what we do for it matters. So if everyone starts seeing it as a verb instead of a noun, what do I get? I want love, I want care, I want attention. It's not that what I do. You know, the most cherished policy, which we all have forgotten over the years, is give and take policy. That is the prime of all the policies. We have come with various policies, but we have forgotten the prime, the primitive one is give and take. So am I doing it properly to get it? So when that realization came, the years have become so beautiful. We give time for each other, you know, like happy marriage, it is nothing but union of 2 good forgivers. Whatever a fight is, even though we were going through all the process from day one, we had one thing in decision, that any fight we had, we used to end it on that day. We never used to carry it to the next day. Next day, if there is, we'll fight again. So, but it took some time. And our major fight was because of the cross culture. You know, I came to a point that one point of time, I told my son, you know, you have to, you know, even if you don't get married, it's fine. Just see 2 years, you see, like you see a girl, if you really like, you know. But then now the maturity that I have, that I think I can, tell people that give it a time, give it a time. It is exactly like a wine. There is something which we don't, even the society don't see it. We say behind every successful man, there is a woman. Behind every successful woman also, there is a man. Otherwise, I will not be sitting here. It is the space that my husband has given me, which has made me to sit here, do my PhD, all the awards, everything I dedicate to my husband, because all this is done after my marriage. Once I started realizing it, once I started giving the space to him, now we are very good friends. So for anybody who gets into, if we see the statistics, the rate of marriage has really gone down from 1997. People are now quite scared to get married. One piece of advice is, don't get married if you are not really ready. Sit together, discuss, set your goals, everybody's goal. You do not have to sacrifice to get married. It is something, marriage is not like two different people who think alike. It is not. We think differently, but think together. It can be different, but think together, take decision, complement each other, love each other, share and understand, give the space to them, so you will get your space. And for every woman, I would say, be independent. That's one thing that, more than beauty, more than, anything, what men adores is seeing his women being independent to do things. I think that's the most beautiful thing on earth for a woman, I would say. So thank you so much, sir. So I think I do not want to prolong it too much. So
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Brinda Shine, for giving your views. And Ms. Brinda Shine says that woman is like a wine, or the marriage is like a wine. How the older wine is more tastier or better, more matured. Whether men also consider this or not, that is a different aspect. I think I should keep a program where I will only take the male participants, where they will give their views, whether they consider that woman as a wine, older, better, or they consider them as a drink, a fizz drink or a scotch, older. It's if it is in a bottle, the fizz is going, leaving, and the or. So that is a. But what she says, Ms. Brinda Shine, is that it's a maturity, how you think, how your perception about the marriage. She also mentioned that marriages are made in heaven, but heaven also having thunder and lightning. She says she had lots of problem initially. She also used a word which is very unique thing. She says the marriage is a barter system. And definitely, if it is a barter system where the people are coming together, someone is giving, they are sharing, means that someone is giving something to the other and the other is giving something to the other. So it's a barter system. And she also mentioned that although she has used so many phrases today, I'm sure that our viewers might be enjoying. She says the arranged marriage is like somebody is throwing you in a planned way well. While in a love marriage, you are jumping in a well without thinking. And she says the men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Listen. According to her, one should listen to each other. The women at least want that they should be listened. The men should listen to them. Although the WhatsApp University, if you will go through it, it is always says that once a man married a woman, the whole life he has to listen. He can't even speak. It's a WhatsApp is university's messages, which you might also be seeing. And but she has also have a good praise for a man. She says the man is a problem solver always. And she has used the word about BP in the Kerala, Malayalam. In North Indians, they used to, for the hand-picked husband, they use the word called JKG, that is Joru Ka Gulam. So she says that if the husband and wife are together, the family feels sometimes, which she has her own experience, that it's a hand-picked husband. But according to her, even if you are fighting with each other, try to see the things, try to understand the beauty, try to understand the quality of each other. Then one can very well adjust. She says that she has reached to a point when she have filed, rather, the next day they were supposed to get the divorce. But they have then decided, and now she's very happy. She is taking a step that now she's doing very well, because, and now she's giving credit to her husband, because she says that behind every successful man there is a woman. There's a saying, but she says it, behind every successful woman there is a man also. So according to Miss Brinda Shine, life after marriage changes drastically and totally transformed. It depends. Initially, it's a very, very tough time, but how you mature yourself, how you take the things, and how your spouse cooperate with you, then the life can become very, very happy, which she is enjoying. I will say we will wish you a very happy married life, enjoyable life, where you both can contribute to the society as you are contributing. And one more thing which she has not mentioned, which she just mentioned today morning, I was not knowing that she is a cancer survivor. That is also a great thing that one should understand. And I can understand the sacrifice of your husband, because it's not easy. Once anyone who is suffering, the other one has to sacrifice his time, his in many things. But it's a very thing, and I hope sure that now you will be very, very successful in your life. So thank you very much, Miss Brinda Shine. Sometimes when I listen such type of your things, I become emotional. I feel that it's not easy. One says that people that sitting and talking is very easy, but to listening something, such type of your things is very, very heartening, and sometimes feeling quite emotional. So thank you very much. I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Miss Rohini Goyal. Miss Rohini Goyal is an engineer and an educationist. She completed her schooling from FPGA Noida and moved on to study engineering and information technology at IIITM Gwalior. She completed her MTech and also published a paper in the field of digital imaging. Having worked in the IT corporate for 2 years, she moved on to Australia for a few years with her husband and worked in the completely new fields of health and travel. In Mathura, she now holds the position of director at the chain of schools Raman Lal Shorawala Public and Primary School. She manages the administration and academics at the primary school since 5 years now. Along with managing the school and 2 kids, she is also an avid reader and a budding sketcher. Welcome, Ms. Rohini Goyal on our show. Ms. Goyal, you have heard what Ms. Joyce Rigo as well as Ms. Brinda Shine has spoken. Both have given different views, although their views initial experience was same, that the one has, because they are both married to a different culture family. One married from Kerala, Malayalam to Tamil, and the other is from Tamil to Malayalam. Now, and they have given their views about the life after marriage, how the life has transformed. Now, we would like to know your views on the life after marriage. Ms. Rohini Goyal, please.
Thank you, Dr. Lal. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, first of all. I heard Ms. Rigo and I heard Ms. Brinda, and somewhere I feel lucky that my life after marriage was not really that hard. I came from a background which is very, very similar to my the background of my in-laws, and the change would not have been perceived as very, very different, although it was. We all agree that marriage definitely is a very life-altering change. It is the biggest milestone in anyone's life, whether man or woman. Let's agree to the fact that even men go through the misery of changes after marriage. It is inevitable, like you said earlier. There are pros and cons to both of the to the facet, and the nitty-gritties of the initial phases of the marriage is that it really is filled with joy. It is the honeymoon phase of the marriage. It is not a sour point, like Ms. Brinda said. The first year of my life after marriage was very nice. It was all rainbows. So we were more compassionate towards each other. We were conscientious towards each other. We had this responsibility of looking after each other for the well-being of the other person also. Initially, I did my schooling and my college in the field of IT. which was a completely different field. I, in fact, worked for 2 years in the corporate life before my marriage. But after I got married, I was suddenly shifted from India to Australia without my in-laws, without anybody, just me and my husband. It was difficult from shifting from one place to another completely, but then we got down to it. I was made to work. I wouldn't say made to work. I opted to work, obviously, but it was in a very, very, very different field. We were exploring our options for business in travel industry, and shifting from IT completely to travel industry, learning the methods, how they do, what they do, only just so that we could settle up a business for my husband in a different country. I was ready to accept that challenge, and I did it. However, when it did not work, we came back to India, and yet again, I was plunged into a completely new field of education. My family is into education since a very long time now, and everybody promoted me. My in-laws, my husband's brother, his wife, everybody in the house, they promoted me and they said, you can do it, and why not do it? So yet again, I was completely immersed into a completely different field of education. I had no background towards it. I had my common sense to go for it, but I still did it. So that was the biggest change in my life that happened after marriage. I wouldn't say that it was a very, very difficult phase like Ms. Rigo went through and Ms. Brinda went through. I am very lucky. I'm considering myself very lucky because my in-laws were supporting me, my husband was supporting me, the rest of the family supported me towards all that. Nevertheless, my life is not all that rainbows also. The challenge that I face towards my husband and my family is I am still expected to handle my children myself sometimes. This particular facet of everybody thinking that there are certain things that a woman is required to do by herself. Nevertheless, what you are doing, whether you are working, whether you are not working, that particular expectation towards women is where things seem a little unfair. So when it comes to managing your household, managing whether you are putting the towel onto the drying rack, you are picking up the laundry for the rest of the house, those smallest of the things are still expected out of the women, whereas this should be done by each and every person of the family. Handling of the children, feeding them is still my job. I have an ample number of help when it comes to cooking, when it comes to other smallest of the chores. Still, when it comes to taking care of the children, I'm still the only one being a mother. So that is where I face one of the most important challenges. Nevertheless, if we think about responsibilities, whether they are shared by two people or not, marriage definitely increases the responsibilities. It never decreases. Money is definitely an important part, and I am lucky to be in a family where it is not a problem. We share the successes in the family together. My successes and failures are the family's successes and failures. The money that I grow is for the family. The money that the family grows is for me. So there, it's not that big of a problem. Still, this weight of the responsibility for the whole family and for the children is sometimes overwhelming because it is for my husband as well and for me as well. So if we say that the man is required to really take care of the family and to earn the money that the family needs, the children need, here I'm lucky to say that I also take part in the same process. I am equally responsible to make that money for my children and make the family grow in that manner. I'm lucky to have in-laws who support me in whatever I do. They gave me the platform to work where I am today. And I hope that in the coming future, I grow that platform. I grow myself in terms of learning how to make this particular organization as big as it can be in Mathura. And I thank my family really from my heart that they can do this for me. It is heartwarming to see what Miss Joyce has gone through, what Miss Brinda has gone through. But really, it is my God said for me that I belong to this life where it is not very difficult. The life is not very changing for me, and I'm very happy. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening to what I had to say and my thoughts. The positive approach to life that I could have adopted, I did adopt with the changes that I felt in my career. And that is what my advice to everybody would also be. Take your life positively with a pinch of salt. The pros and cons, the ups and downs definitely come. But with that positive approach to the life, you can make it a very, very nice life for yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rohini Goyal, for giving your views. And unlike our earlier panelist, what she says is that her life has not changed much after the marriage because her parents and her in-laws were all the same strata in the society. And that's why it was not that much tough for or the challenging for her. But she says that because she is from the IT background and she worked in a corporate house, and once she came out, they have gone after the marriage, they have shifted to Australia. There's a new life. And as we all know that in a foreign country, you have to work yourself, have mostly everything, which is not like India, where you have so many helps to give you support. But she says that they were, again, a new things from IT to travel. And then when she came back, she says that then she was supposed to work with the family business, that is education, providing education. So they are running a chain of schools in Mathura. So she says that is a new life altogether. But the way they all handled and the encouragement from her family, her husband, and the in-laws, and everyone, she adopted, and now she's quite successful. But she is having one complaint, I will say, or one something. She says that why the expectations are about handling everything, and especially the children, by the mother only. According to her, it should be shared by the husband, or everyone should have the same responsibility. Why in India we expect? Because I know that it is not there in other countries. Other countries, husband and wife both share the same things. They change the nappies and everything, the diapers, everything, which is not there in India. Now it is coming up, but still it is not there. And especially in North India, where the man ego hurts very badly. And as Miss Brinda mentioned about BP, or in North India, we says JKG, the Joru Ka Gulam. Immediately, if husband is doing something, he will be termed in the society that he is a Joru Ka Gulam. But now the time is changing. But she says the responsibility has to be taken by both husband and wife. But otherwise, she says she is having no problem. Money-wise, also no problem. One thing which she said is very good, very inspiring also, that she says that everyone mentioned and everyone feels that the man has to earn money for the family. She says, I am also proud to say that I also earn money for my family. So there is nothing like that. And because she is talking from her in-laws' house, so she has to say that they are very supporting. She can't say no, otherwise she will not get the lunch today. But one message, it's in a lighter way, I have to say. Like last time I told Miss Brinda, remember that I said I am sometimes act as a Narad Muni also. So, but what message she has given is a very, very good message. She says both spouses, husband and wife, should think positively. If you are positive in your approach, then the marriage is going to be a very, very successful thing and you will enjoy. So that is an approach which Ms. Rohini Goyal is. Thank you very much, Ms. Rohini Goyal, for giving your views. And I wish that this approach of positivity will continue. And now your in-laws and your husband will also take responsibility of your children. So by this way, you have made me a media medium to pass the message to your in-laws and to your husband that they should also handle your children. And it is not only for them. I think everyone, all the husbands should take a message that the wife should, why only the wife should take the responsibility. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my last but not the least panelist of our program today, and she is Miss Shriti Prasad. Ms. Shriti Prasad is MBA and MA Economics. She is presently teaching in Maloti School and Junior College, Nagpur for last 7 years. Ms. Shriti Prasad, you have heard all our earlier panelists, Ms. Rigo, Joyce, Ms. Brinda Shine, as well as Ms. Rohini Goyal. Now, we would like to know, because they have given their views, different views, intercaste marriage, but same marriage, all similar, this thing like Ms. Rohini Goyal mentioned, their challenges, their happy married life also, and whatnot. We would like to know from you, your views on life after marriage, Ms. Shriti Prasad.
Good morning to all of you. Good morning, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I'm so thankful. See, life is not a bed of roses for any one of us before marriage or even after marriage. Things don't change much when you take control of the things. Now, if you talk about my marriage, it was purely arranged. We met through one of the matrimonial site, and even my life changed after the marriage as I settled down from a working professional to a housewife for around 7 years. Then that was the time when I enjoyed my motherhood, taking care of my children. That was the time when I enjoyed taking best care of me and my children. That was the time when I utilized this for enhancing my skills and my education. So my time pass was good. Yes, I got all the support from my in-laws, parents, and husband. So what I believe is that commitment, affection, and appreciation all should come from both the side. When it is coming from both the side, things wonder. Now, there are so many positive things of a marriage. First of all, you get a companionship. So I am not talking only about the physical union. This is also spiritual and emotional. Then secondly, you feel more settled. As in my case, I feel so settled that yes, now I am married. So I can lead my life according to my wish and desire. So my life was not a kind of life which I heard from Joyce ma'am and Brinda ma'am, not like that. Mine was a little good, but yes, you face restrictions, you face difference of opinion, then you face so many difficulties. There are n number of responsibilities that comes to your shoulder. That is there. But what I say is कि विवाह का मतलब एक जैसा सोचना नहीं होता, इसका मतलब एक साथ सोचना होता है. तो हम एक साथ सोच रहे थे. So that is why the things went little smoothly. Now I want to tell you a story. This is a story of Devi Parvati and Lord Shiva. You all know that Devi Parvati was the daughter of Himalaya, King Himalaya, and he was not in favor of this marriage, as Lord Shiva did not have so much of things, I mean, so much luxurious things, so much materialistic thing. He was simply a god who was living on mountains, and he had a tough life, so he was not ready. But one day, Devi Parvati ran away. And then she started searching Shiva. And then she started praying. She started her tapasya for years and years. Then after a long time, finally Lord Shiva met to Parvati, asked her wish, judged her maybe during this time she is ready for the marriage and ready for the changes which she has to face after marriage. And finally, both were married. And we all Hindu ladies pray them as a couple. We pray them just because they are the symbol of good life, good married life. And we also pray Lord Parvati because that gives a long life to our husband. So see, if you are ready for the marriage, like in Christianity also there is some kind of counseling done to both the person before marriage. They are being called in the church and the counseling is done. Buddhism also believe that even if they are not getting married, but if they want to live as a cohabitant, then also it will do. So if you are religiously ready, if you are mentally ready, if you are emotionally ready to take up the challenges, your life after marriage will go smooth. And if you ask me, there are compromises which you do in every relation. Forget about your husband. In every relation, you have to face this kind of compromises, this kind of challenges. You adjust, and the opposite person also adjusts. This is not the adjustment you do only in the family. This is the adjustment the whole family does. So if it is going into a positive directions, then your life after marriage will be happy. Otherwise, if it is not going so smooth as Brinda ma'am said, I was totally surprised and shocked too. Then you really need to sit together as they did, and finally you will come up with the problem. You'll find a good solution. So marriages need to take place because this is what our Vedic culture says. You have to be in Grihastha ashram. So when you have to be in that Grihastha ashram, please make it happy and peaceful, and it should come from both the parties. Yes, women adjust more, not only in your culture, in my culture. It goes on into the different cultures across the world. So women adjust more. I do agree. But I expect now males should also adjust so that marriages should lead to a good marriage, not to a divorce. As the divorce rate is increasing too much, this is my suggestion to the couples. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shriti Prasad, for giving your views. And she says that before marriage or after marriage, life is not a bed of roses. One has to face it. And it makes hardly any difference whether it's before marriage or after marriage. But she says that her own thing, that she enjoyed the motherhood for 7 years, then she's working. But she says that she has given about the philosophy of marriage. She says that one should be spiritual, one should understand before going, either if it's a arranged marriage also, she says one should know whether you are mentally prepared for the marriage or not. And according to her, for all relations, the compromises are there. If anybody says there is no compromise, it's wrong. In all relationships, not only between husband and wife, but in all other relationships also. And but she says, although the women adjust more across the religions, across the demographic, anywhere in the world, but according to her, the time is changing. One should understand both spouse, the person, man and woman, both should adjust themselves. Then only the life will be happy. And she has narrated the story of Lord Shiva and Parvati, goddess Parvati, how they have married. Before that, how much she has spent time for doing tapasya and puja. And she says that we all pray to them. We want that the life of a husband-wife should be like Lord Shiva and goddess Parvati. Thank you very much, Ms. Shriti Prasad, for giving your views. And I'm sure that our viewers who are watching our show, they understood one thing. They might have understood one thing, that all our panelists, they have faced some challenges also, but they have overcome by adjusting themselves. But now I am in the next round. I have to ask the questions, and definitely somewhat might be some questions might be uncomfortable. But my role, I want that the viewers should get the reality, not only the things which we talk theoretically. We have to be very, very practical. So now my first question goes to Ms. Joyce. You have mentioned about your life. I would like to know, but I want a frank and straight answer from my question, so that let the people should know. If you would have not married, then also you would have been so much successful as you are today, or not? And the reason for that, Miss Joyce Siri.
No, I don't think I would have been so successful what I'm now. Why? Because a lot of changes which came after being a wife, a mother. So the Mrs. category which I'm in right now, that is what has brought success to me. It is. I don't think I would have done that if I would have been in my own family. So
So Miss Rigo, you mean to say the happiness which you would have got in your own family, you are not going to get. You will now, which you are getting, you will not get in your parents' family. You want to say this, Miss Rigo?
no, the maturity which has come after getting married, that same maturity was not there when I'm with my parents, because I'm more, as you said, like a princess. And I was getting, or, sitting and talking whatever I want. I have my two brothers above me who gave me all the privilege, and who gave me whatever I want, actually. I just need to tell them that, bro, I think I need this. And the next moment they will do hook up, and they will give it to me. I'm so sorry for the pets noise.
No, we understand, but our program is pet friendly, so no problem. Please go ahead.
With brothers and my parents, yeah, I don't think I would have been so matured. So right now, with my husband and children and a different culture, as what I told already, all these things have actually groomed me to come to this level. So I agree that.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rigo. Okay, thank you. Now my question goes to Ms. Brinda Shine. The same question to you. You have mentioned that how much challenging initial phase of your marriage. Do you regret that you married? If you would have not married, Ms. Brinda Shine, you might be enjoying your life more or less. What you say about it?
Professionally, I would have achieved more. I was into IT, different. So my complete field, now I'm ended up in education, where I said roller coaster of events have changed. But then as a person, as a human, as a mother, as a wife, I feel I'm more successful now, because whatever I am today is because of my husband. There's one thing that I should mention about everything that we had, that he has never said no to me for anything. If I tell him I want to do this tomorrow, he says full support, go ahead. So that kind of support that I have, that now I tell everyone proudly that he's my father, he's my mother, he's my brother, he's my sister, he's everything for me now. So it's not that just because, for the sake of saying, but of course, professionally, I would have been into somewhere in IT, working somewhere in US. But then now I feel that I'm a very successful, and I feel very content. It's not only profession as a whole, it's a whole package for a woman. So I feel like a complete woman, and it's my man who has made me that complete woman today, and I'm so proud of it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Brinda Shine. Now my question goes to Ms. Rohini Goyal. Same question. Although you said that it makes hardly a difference, but if you would have not married, do you think you would have been more successful in your life, which, as you have mentioned, that now you have to handle the children, which you are not supposed to handle at that time? You will be totally free. You are enjoying your own life. With money was also not a consideration at that time. There also, here also. So, what do you say about this, Ms. Rohini Goyal?
When we were in school, we read this poem, "The Road Not Taken" by Robert Frost. So life is definitely about two roads. There is a fork. You have to choose one life. Today, I chose the life after marriage. If I had not married, the life would definitely would have been different. But like I said, I have an approach towards career which is very dynamic. I can work in a different field, completely different to what I have already studied, and it would have been the same if I had not married. So I would probably have been successful even then if I had worked equally hard as I'm working now. So yet again, I say that life would not have been very different. The challenges are there. Responsibilities definitely change. If I had not married, the responsibilities would have been probably different, but the road also would have been completely different also. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Goyal. Now my question goes to Ms. Shriti Prasad. The same question, although you said that it's an arranged marriage, if it had not been, do you think you will be more successful than now? What you say about Ms. Shriti Prasad, although your views are about Lord Shiva as well as Goddess Parvati, but if you would have not married, you would have been more successful, or now you are more successful?
See, if you ask professionally, I would have been more successful, no doubt, because I would not be giving my time and energy to something else. So I would have been professionally much, much more than what I am. But in that case, I would have been remain as Papa Ki Pari, knowing nothing. So now, whatever growth I have seen in my life, both personally and emotionally, I know what is management, as I do good into kitchen management, managing my children, managing my time with the family members, and so many other things. The way I have got matured, this would I would have not been getting if I would have been into a no marriage status. So my marital status would have remained as single. My friends would have got married. So I would always remain as single or alone, even in that group. So it's good that I'm married and now growing into all respect in all aspects. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sridhi Prasad. So all the four participants, our panelists said that it's a good decision they have taken to marry. All the best to you all. Now my next question goes to Ms. Rigo. Ms. Rigo, do you think life change after marriage is the changes are mainly for the women, not for, or it is also for men, for whom the life changes more, women or men, and the reason?
Sir, I think it's the man. Why? Because the person whom I met before marriage and until the day of marriage, what I know, and the person whom I'm seeing now, it's completely different. Sometimes I feel, is that a stranger whom I'm staying with? Because someone who was more into his own life, his own things, and he used to think more about, you know, himself, how he needs to grow, or his personality development, or his work related, or how much money he has to make, and what savings he should have. All these things, after marriage, I see it's completely different. Even there used to be time that we used to be out till morning. We used to roam around, and you know, once marriage came up, he's like, no, go fast to sleep, and you're not supposed to be awake like this, and you need to have your proper sleep, your health issues. And I look at a different person actually, and it's not like I feel I'm still the same, and I can see a big change on the other side. So he is more of settled, and he's more of supportive, and he also pushes me for these kind of things. Now, see, even if I'm talking to you right now, there is on the other side things are taken care of. So maybe this kind of things, being a female, I wouldn't have thought so much how much he thinks about me. So the bigger change I can see on his side. So I don't know in general how it is, but
yeah, I am sure that I am sure the men who are listening to today's program might be quite happy, because always it is said in our customs, this society, this says that the woman has to sacrifice, and they are the only. But what you are saying is totally different. That the man has to sacrifice more, and as per the Ms. Brinda's language, I will say that he might have become a BP, or in our language in North India it's called JKG. But anyway, it's a good thing that you have felt the agony or pain of a man also. Thank you very much. Now my next, the same question goes to Ms. Brinda Shine. What you say about it? Who compromise, or whose life is transformed more, man or woman after the marriage?
Definitely, as a person and the society, I would say it is the women, sir. That is the hard truth of it, because we get completely, if you look at me, I'm a very different person. And if I work in a school, I see teachers, I run restaurants, I see my staff. So it is definitely the women. Maybe men change for 25%, but then for them, to become we also takes time. For me, when I got married, I don't speak a single sentence in Malayalam. I had a neighbor who was a Malayali, so just to avoid her, I used to take a big round and come, because I did not want to speak that language. But then now I converse completely in Malayalam. I think even now I think in Malayalam. I think that's the over the years. And if you see my husband, he can speak, but then it will be more of Malayalam than Tamil, where I completely converse. So my life has completely changed. So as many women, the way we dress, the way we, even the shade of my lipstick till the bindi that I keep, everything is, we change. It is not by force, but for a person who likes it more, for some it is force, and for some it is love, and for some it is sacrifice. And generally, when I see the society, it is the women who makes the more changes, right from the house, the language, the food, than the men. That's my perception.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Brinda Shine. You have given a totally different view than Ms. Rigo, and views according to Ms. Shine, that the woman has to sacrifice more or compromise more or change more than the, and according to you, the language also you have mentioned very clearly. Yes, this is your view. Let's see the other two panelists, what they say. So now my question goes to, the same question goes to Ms. Rohini Goyal. Do you think the woman has to compromise more, or the man has to compromise or the transform more after the marriage? And especially in your case.
Well, any person added to any person's life, changes has to ensue. So whether it is a man going to a woman's house or a woman coming onto a man's house, the change is definitely felt on both sides. Definitely. Nevertheless, this particular simple facet of moving from one place to this one house to the other house definitely adds a bit more of challenge towards the woman's life when they have to shift to a completely new house with completely different people. Nevertheless, this problem, the rest of the problem is, I think, equal with men. The facet might be different. The women undergo a different kind of problem set, whereas the men undergo a different kind of problem set. But the problems are definitely the same. The notch is definitely the same.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rohini Goyal. You have given a very balanced view. It's somewhat from Ms. Rigo and also from Ms. Binda, that according to you, yes, it's definitely, because in especially those society where the girl has to go to the husband's house, there is a lots of changes which a husband is not understanding, but the freedom of the man or the boy, there is also be curtailed, because earlier he was enjoying the entire room of his own, but now one has to share the room and all those things. So what Ms. Goyal has mentioned is the balanced view, but according to her, in one way, the woman has to compromise more because she has to come from one house to the other house. Thank you very much. Now, same question goes to Ms. Shriti Prasad. Who is compromising, or who is adjusting, or who is transforming more after marriage, man or women?
Statistically speaking, it's women. Now it starts from your change of surname to change of your house, then juggling between your household work and office job, and then asking your husband to please come, we want to have a happy family selfie. From there to everything, there is adjustment more done by women. So it's not about the one who all are present here. It's about the many families which come from rural sector of our country, to many families where there is a less literacy level among the in-laws and parents. Everywhere, women are those who adjust more to keep their family safe, to keep their marriage alive.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shriti Prasad. Yes, you have touched a very important thing, that we have to consider the rural area, or the those illiterate families and the very strict in-laws, how they behave with the daughter-in-law. And so there, definitely the woman has to compromise. But many times men also compromise. I also compromised. My wife is from a Jain family, so I have to leave all those things which I used to eat earlier, and I have become a pure vegetarian. So it's not that only the women compromise, the men also have to compromise many times. So I do not want to be termed as a JKG or PP, but yes, many times it has to be. Thank you very much. Now, my next round of the question, goes to Ms. Rigo. Joint family or the nuclear family, which is easier for the life after marriage? You have seen both that things, as you have mentioned, that your in-laws stays with you, now you are staying alone. So, according to you, after the marriage, for the women, it's easy to adjust in a joint family or a nuclear family? The challenges, the responsibility, everything. Yes,
Sir, I think it depends again on the lady, because if she's more of adjusting, compromising, if she can go with the flow, then joint family is the best. But if she's someone who has her own views, she has a particular way of style of living, or she wants a kind of life what she has to live, then I think she has to be in a nuclear family. For me, I love to be in a joint family. As you know, I told you, I love talking, I love mingling. And this particular family, what I went to, my in-laws or the relatives, they embraced the culture as it is. Because as I said, Bombay, Bangalore, and Goa. I'm a combination of 3 places. So it's completely different in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So for them, they took me and my culture as what I am, and so it's easy for adjusting. So everyone is compromising. So for people who know how to adjust, if they know how to live in between the peoples with different mindsets, joint family is the best. I love living in a joint family. But again, everyone should have the same kind of mindset. If there is someone who is not liking what's happening, and then, it's gone for a toss. So
Miss Rigo, you are not staying in your joint family now.
no, we were here with in-laws. Yeah, now it's really boring. Frankly speaking, 1 husband, 2 kids, 2 pets. Life is in between the 4 walls. It's really boring. So
What you are saying, 1 husband means?
No.
I'm sure you, yeah.
No, I just told you the count, you don't go into a different way. So one husband goes for work in the morning, comes in the night. The 2 pets, they're in their own world, and 2 kids, they go to school. Their life is also busy because they're into tuitions and a lot of activities and other things. So sometimes it's me and my work. I also feel, lonely. So I just sit and think, I wish someone would be at home. Maybe a father-in-law or a mother-in-law, sister-in-law, even if it's fights, no problem.
Okay.
So.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Rigo. Same question to Ms. Brinda Shine. Ms. Brinda Shine, joint family or nuclear family?
Definitely joint family, because I got married to my husband looking at his family more than him. Because I was born up, like my parents are cross culture, and so my mom, she did not have relatives from her side. It was 1970s great love marriage, so we did not have much of relatives. And when my husband was talking about his family, how they are and all that, so that's what got me interested, like to get into even making a big decision of getting into Kerala. And so, but then we had lived most of nuclear life because we were abroad and the family was in India. So that, see, sometimes we feel that we get more privacy being in nuclear family as an husband and wife. But one thing is when it is a family, the elders are there, they are more mature than us when we start our family. So their advice or, that really plays a big way. So I would definitely say that my life would have been very different. Unfortunately, my in-laws are no more, but for me, they were too good. I used to tell my husband that I loved my mother-in-law more than I love him, because that's what she was for me. I was very much blessed to have a wonderful mother-in-law, and she is one of the reasons for making my marriage so successful, because I did not want her to feel bad. So I would definitely say I always recommend joint family over nuclear family.
Okay, thank you very much. Now my question goes to Ms. Rohini Goyal. It's a difficult question for her to reply because she is in a joint family. But the question is similar, same question, joint family or nuclear family. You have been to in a nuclear family initially. You had been at Australia where you both were staying. Challenges, both the places. Which one you think it is better for a woman?
I think grass is always greener on the other side. Nevertheless, with the joint family, I have learned, हिंदी की वो कहावत है, जितने बर्तन होंगे उतने बजेंगे. So I have learned self-control. I have learned to compromise. I've learned to bite my tongue at various times. I've also learned to be forgiving. I have also learned how to stop arguments, how to sometimes even prevent them, which I would have never learned in a nuclear family probably. With the nuclear family situation, definitely the privacy is there. You have more freedom to work, do what you want, and come and go how you want. But with joint family also, I've experienced the same thing. We go to wherever we want, at whatever time we want. We eat what we want. So it is about how free you become with your in-laws and how much freedom they also give you to experience your life choices when you are living in that kind of situation. So challenging wise, definitely joint family is challenging because you have to face different people with different opinions and then live with them also at the same time. So joint family is definitely more challenging. Nevertheless, it is a different experience and a good experience also in itself.
Yeah, but the initial phrase which you have used, the grass is greener the other side, gives you the reply. I'm sure your in-laws would have got the message if what you want to say. Anyway, thank you very much. Now my same question goes to Ms. Shriti Prasad. Ms. Shriti, what you say about the joint family or the nuclear family for a woman?
See, always joint family through more challenges. This is very much true. But this is not only about thinking about ourselves. If you think with respect to your children, then joint family is the big support. From there, you get so many sanskara in the family. Secondly, they take best care of your children. So if you see in that perspective, it is good. Again, you want your children to learn sharing. Then for that also they imbibe so many good values and moral values in the family. So I respect joint families, though it comes with challenges. It comes with so many adjustments. Like you don't get much freedom. You don't have freedom always to do whatever you want to. So there, if you put some self-control, it goes on nicely.
Okay, thank you very much. Although whatsoever we have seen in the movies, Lalita Pawar and Bindu, Shashikala, you are saying some all are different because there the SAS role is always there, and always there is a tough time between SAS and Bahu and Nanad and Bhaujai. So anyway, it's a good thing that you are saying about joint family, although the data are very different in India. Nowadays, everyone is going for the nuclear family. They prefer nuclear family because even the youngsters feel that the grandparents are pampering their children. They are a liability, and that's why we are in India are having more and more old age homes, which is very, very unfortunate. There should not be old age home. If all of you, if you are really meaning that what you have spoken, or it's just a theoretically, if you are talking, then it's a different thing. But you have given a very clear thing that joint family is better. Now, at the last round, only one answer from you, very quick answer, time is short. What advice you would like to give to a girl who is going to marry or to a already existing married woman? Miss Rigo, what advice you would like to give? One advice only.
Yeah, don't stop dreaming. So if you have some plans in your life, just continue with the plans and you will get support from the family at any cost. Be confident. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Miss Binda Shine, your advice.
Go with a clean mindset. Like it should be a clean slate, no expectations, and start it fresh. Life before marriage and after marriage is different. So don't go with the preconceived thoughts. Start fresh.
Okay, thank you. Miss Rohini Goyal.
Take a positive attitude.
Your advice.
Whether life is before marriage or after marriage, a positive attitude towards any change that comes towards you is very, very important. And you can take leaps and bounds with a positive attitude. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Shriti Prasad.
First of all, sit, think, rethink, and when you are prepared, then only go for marriage.
Okay, thank you very much. So, viewers, you have seen today, 4 married ladies have given their views about life after marriage. And they are all of the same view. In one way, they say that it is only possible if you have a positive views, if you are less expectations, and if you are ready to adjust yourself as well as the spouse also adjust, then the married life is going to long lasting and very happy married life. Although in India, the story is a bit different because many houses, they are not understanding. They consider a daughter-in-law in a different way. Similarly, daughter-in-law sometimes feel that she is having more hold on the husband. She should understand that after all, the husband has spent 25 or 30 years in a family. If she has to adjust there and try to mold them accordingly. So both life changes after the marriage. They all agree, but it all depends how you take it and how you want to go ahead. Only my request to everyone is, whether you are in-laws, whether you are a daughter-in-law or a son-in-law or a son, please adjust yourselves. Time has changed. Try to see to it that the children, the new generation which is going to come, they will be affected if we will not adjust ourselves, if they will see the fights going on, if they will see that there is no adjustments between the in-laws, the grandparents, and the parents, then they will also follow the same thing. So if we want our society, if we want our future generation to be there to build our country, a big, good country, a Vishguru, then the responsibility lies with both husband and wife to see to it that they will adjust accordingly, sit together, wherever the differences, try to solve the differences so that the new generation will be very happy, so that tomorrow the marriage institution will continue, as one of the panelists says, that we pray to the Lord Shiva and Parvati. So our new generation should also have those sanskars so that they will believe in the marriage institutions. Otherwise, we know that the marriage institutions is dying slowly and slowly, which should not be. So thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Karu News, V4 Stream, Malandu TV India, News Gaon se Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, as well as shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And I'm sure today's program is quite enlightening. We try to take those topics which are going to shake some mind or some thoughts of the viewers. If you like our programs, please write to us on any of the channels, mention about what you think, or if you have any topic which you want to suggest, please send on those channels or WhatsApp me, whatever thing. So thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Joyce Rigo, for giving your views. Thank you very much, Ms. Brinda Shine. Thank you very much, Ms. Rohini Goyal. And thank you, Ms. Shriti Prasad, for giving your views. And I'm sure today you all will have a very good, happy Sunday, good lunch prepared by your in-laws, because you have praised them. And this is the life that there should be a happy life, whether you are in a joint family or in a nuclear family.